Batwoman just had its series finale, and boy did it end things on a high note. First up, we have to talk about the tragic story that is Mouse and Alice. I figured something bad would happen to his character given last episode and how against Alice he had slowly been becoming because of her obsession over Kate. It was both sad and nice to see that she took things into her own hands and officially killed Mouse off. I have to admit I was really surprised, and it was also sad. It's one of those things where these are really bad characters, but they've also had really bad things done to them. So I'm excited and curious to see where she goes into next season, particularly given her cliffhanger. As for Kate this episode, it was all about her trying to win back her father's trust, although through Batwoman. But it turns out no matter how good she was being, no matter how much Mary had tried to convince him, he just wasn't ready to let Batwoman be a thing. Maybe when he knows Kate's there, he might try, but as of now, he is not a fan and he actively tried killing her point blank. As for Mary, she had a really good moment this episode where she pleaded to her father, and I think it was nice knowing that he didn't single her out as not being his daughter. Like, he considered it, but then he realized that his own idealized version of himself and the Crows was more important than what one person had wanted. Luke didn't really do much this episode, but I'm curious going into next season if he will get more storylines outside of being stuck in the Batcave. But the one piece of kryptonite that was managed to be found was successfully destroyed. However, as the pre-title showed us, Batwoman still has her kryptonite from her crossover with Supergirl, and she mentioned that she may have to talk to her first, so I'm hoping for a Supergirl crossover briefly next season. I think the big takeaway from this episode, besides the deaths of Mouse, Kate finally understanding where her father is and how she can no longer trust him, I really appreciate the fact that we actually got Batman, or at least Bruce Wayne, well, at least a copy of Bruce Wayne. While we don't have the official Bruce Wayne on the show, we do have the lookalike, aka Hush, portraying his best friend in the show, Bruce Wayne. While I don't know if we'll see the cowl anytime soon, having Bruce Wayne being back in the show could be very interesting because either they can guess right away that this is not Bruce Wayne, or he can be really good and pretend that he is in fact the actual Bruce Wayne. This leaves a lot to be desired, especially because as far as we know, the real Bruce Wayne is out there somewhere on Earth 1. So I'm curious to see going into next season how this will turn out. As far as the finale goes, this is actually a good finale considering they still had 2 episodes left to go and they were cut short due to the current crisis. So I'm really excited to see where this show continues to go, and now that they have a little extra time to plan for season 2, hopefully they can dig down better now that they know these characters and they don't have to set up all this guesswork. But I would rate this episode literally a 10 out of 10. I thought the performances across the board were great, particularly with Alice and Mouse, but I also thought Mary and Kate's heart-to-heart worked really well as well. But let me know what you think of the episode down below, and what would you rate this season as a whole.